because I can put my camera like that.
Is it good?
Can you pass me my camera? Without the piece from the desk, please.
Oh God, what are you doing, Karina? Are you being a good girl?
I'm going to steal.
Unfortunately, folks, Karina will not be able to join us in tonight's episode where I dissect Chris Marszalek of crypto.com, the AMA, the Ask Me Anything. I'm going to be dissecting it. I'm going to be pulling out the most relevant parts. And if you are someone that is thinking about investing in crypto.com, if you're someone that is thinking about getting a crypto.com debit card on any level, or especially if you are a long-term investor in the CDC, the crypto.com ecosystem and the space, this is a video that you do not want to miss, especially if you haven't taken the time to sit down and watch the entirety of the AMA. I will link it in the description below so you can have it as reference if you like. It's 45 minutes long, and I gotta say, Chris Marszalek, he's a pretty boring dude. It's very monotone. It's definitely not going to be a very exciting thing to watch. So my goal here with this video is to just try and spice it up and just really try and summarize it just as well as I possibly can and just pull out the interesting points for you to see. So if you're interested in checking that out, then make sure you stick around and watch the entirety of the video, and I assure you, you're gonna feel far more knowledgeable about crypto.com in its present day, how it's handling the situation that's going on recently in the news, and its main goal for 2021 and where it's headed. And with that information, you'll be able to make a calculated decision about what you are doing in relation to the company going forward. You can still enjoy this one.
Use the bilateral.
What is good, crypto heads? You are here chilling with the real Satoshi Aoki. I just want to bring you some massive news today. I didn't actually realize, but I saw the price of Bitcoin skyrocket today. It's taken about a 6 or 7, maybe even an 8% rise, all the way up to $12,800 and has settled just below $12,700. A key level of resistance that it did need to break through was 12,500. The next level of resistance, according to a few technical analysts that I do follow online, is around 13,500 US dollars. So let's watch that closely. And the fundamental reason for this news was that PayPal, they said earlier in the year that there was some ideas that they may be incorporating cryptocurrency onto their platform. However, nothing was made official. However, if we do refer to the official PayPal Twitter today, they have publicly come out and officially said that there is going to be a launch to be expected in the near future, and you are going to be able to buy cryptocurrency, trade cryptocurrency, hold cryptocurrency, and most importantly, pay with cryptocurrency from a crypto wallet within the PayPal app for anything online. This is absolutely bullish news, and possibly the most bullish news I've ever heard of Bitcoin since I've been in the space since 2017. Let me know your thoughts on that, and let's get started with the rest of this video.
So as you all know, we've recently reduced incentives on our staking program, specifically for our native coin, and it created a huge noise in the community. And we've heard your message clear. You thought that the incentives were cut too deep, they were cut too quickly. You pointed out, and rightly so, that we should have given a longer notice period to our community before we make such adjustments. And then, of course, the price went down, which upset everybody. So while we never comment on the price and we didn't comment when it was going up, we're not going to comment on it when it was going down. We can comment on our overall strategy, what we are building and how we're building it, and what you can expect from us moving forward. Sometimes we tend to forget that we are no longer this tiny speedboat that can just turn very rapidly and change direction. Everything is fine. I think mentally we need to adjust to the fact that this is now a large-scale business with 5 million people on the platform and hundreds of employees, and our community size has grown tremendously as well. So we need to make these decisions, but we should communicate these in a more thought-out manner. So moving forward, what you can expect from us is a clear communication. If there will be any changes that are critical to the community, they will be communicated in advance.
It has been said several times that Chris Marszalek and crypto.com ecosystem have basically made a mistake when they did reduce those interest rates the initial time at around about 75%, and the fact that they sort of took advantage of that situation and listened to their audience, and less than 24 hours later they were able to come out and officially say that it was only going to be a 50% reduction. Most of you out there that have watched my previous videos know that I actually think this was staged and planned. Have you seen the size of the guy's head? He's not an idiot, he's a smart guy, and crypto.com is a smart business model. They don't make mistakes like this, all right? In my personal opinion, they had this plan from the whole get-go, and it didn't actually work out according to plan, because in a nutshell, a lot of people actually unstaked and left and gave, or will give, or continue to give a bad rap or a bad reputation for crypto.com into the future. I think the situation could have simply just been handled a little bit better and periodized with a little bit more warning. And what difference would it have really made? Why is it worth carrying on about so much? Well, it is a big difference, because it's about customer experience. That customer then goes on and tells their 100 friends. Another person might have, who knows, what if there's a crypto.com user that has 5 million followers on Instagram or on their Twitter, all right? You don't know who is using the services and who is affected really by that situation, that rate cut, all right? That is, if it's a high level influencer in the crypto space, or even if it's not in the crypto space, this is a person that is essentially giving a bad or a good rap for crypto.com. It could have been managed a lot better. In my personal opinion, it should have been periodized. There should have been at least 1 month warning before they did do this rate cut. And then after that, it should have been periodized from 20% on the exchange down to perhaps 18% month 2, 16% month 3, 14% month 4. And to be completely honest, I don't think that after 14% it should be reduced any lower, or if it does need to be reduced lower, I think that for the people that are staking for the Obsidian Black or maybe the Icy White and Frosted Rose Gold, and for people staking over X amount, maybe over, who knows, maybe 100,000 Crow on the exchange, they should be getting top rates at 14% paid back. Everyone else, no interest rates, all right? Because if you do that, you're looking after your big time investors, and you're encouraging these smaller investors to save up so they can get those rewards. Let me know what you think about that in a nutshell, because there are a lot of theories going on out there, and it's a great talking and discussion point.
Two things that we are considering that you should keep in mind that they may be coming at some point in the future is, number one, we'll probably have to increase our card processing fees a little bit to cover our costs. At least so we don't have to subsidize it in terms of buying crypto credit card. And the second thing is we are debating right now what to do in this with the card staking tiers, because if you look at the USD equivalents, it's at an all-time low.
Okay, so 2 really important points from this passage here. The first part is about increasing the card processing fees. I'm not sure if you've been on crypto.com app lately or recently. If you haven't, go on there today and have a look. On a lot of, I don't know if it's with all cryptocurrency purchases from a credit card or a Visa debit card, the 3.5% transaction fee is waived temporarily, okay? Chris Marszalek here is talking about potentially increasing, or he's basically saying be prepared to accept the increase in card processing fees. We know that it is a bit cheaper than Coinbase, and I haven't done the maths on all the other third-party wallets out there, but it is fairly cheap in comparison to the other places where you can buy cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. So I worry a little bit about that, because if there are a lot of people that are just maybe simply buying, holding, and staking in the earn section, it might mean that they are potentially buying in other areas or other third-party platforms. And if those third-party platforms start to offer better earn services, then
we will continue to rely.
Then it may serve as a bit more fierce competition for crypto.com, and it may not serve them. The second piece of information there that he lightly brushed upon was the simple fact that, well, the price of the Crow token is suspiciously low at the moment. It is around 10 cents because of the recent drop. And he's basically saying that in comparison to the USD value, there is a slight, he didn't directly say anything, but the way I would interpret what he just said is the simple fact that they might be looking at increasing the required amount of Crow for certain level card tiers, which we'll basically probably find out in the coming days, maybe weeks. I really hope they don't increase the amount required to stake for higher card tiers. I think so shortly after the value of the Crow token dropping, I mean, how stupid does he think people really are? Let me know your thoughts on that one. Let's dissect this a little further.
Second thing that you can expect from us is that we will continue to relentlessly build the products and release them, to build a world-class product and a world-class business. So some of the stuff that we've released in the couple of weeks since our last AMA were, DeFi swap, a completely new product. We launched Supercharger, a great way to get yield on your coins, so without any lockups.
I can openly say that I have engaged and I am using DeFi Swap on crypto.com and the Supercharger. So the current Supercharger that is running at the moment is the Uniswap Supercharger. They go on and talk about how the yields are really, really good, but it's only going to be a limited yield. It's dependent on how many people are actually using the Supercharger. It's only $500,000 US worth of Uni token that is going to be supplied. So if there's a lot of people getting involved in the Supercharger, which I imagine there probably is because it's flexible, you don't need a minimum amount to get in, which makes it accessible to someone who doesn't have a lot of crow. I think it's a minimum of 100 crow that you can put in per time, and you can keep on adding to that. But how can they guarantee a yield of around 20%? I just don't get how that makes any sense.
Against Swift.
Fuck's sake.
Why does it keep going on by itself?
Because I stopped taking it off fucking because I forget to pause it because I've chopped it up. When we talk about the liquid swap on crypto.com DeFi, again, I've got 2 stakes going on there, or 2 yield farms, I should say. I'm doing Ethereum with Unipair and Ethereum with a Chainlink pair, and I am seeing some small gains there, but I'm going to basically make a little video detailing about how many gains I have over the course of 1 month, 3 months, and maybe 6 months. So it's kind of hard to tell exactly how much you are going to get out of that because gains are not guaranteed when yield farming. That is something that you really need to understand before getting into it. You really do need to research yield farming a little bit more. I have only staked smaller amounts, but on the whole, it's good that they are making some effort to set up the infrastructure and technology for us to be getting involved in the DeFi space through Supercharger and through crypto.com DeFi. Let me know your thoughts.
This is not how things work. We have a multi-year plan against which we are executing, right? Look at what we've done in 2017, 18, 19. I mean, throughout the bear market, we kept building the product, building the team. We stick to our strategy. It works. It took us from 0 to 5 million users. And next year, we're confident it will take us from 5 million to 15 million users. And the strategy itself is actually very, very simple. We drive scale on the retail side of business, and then use this the size of our retail customer base to build the exchange business where we onboard institutions. And with these, we create powerful revenue generating engine covering all 3 use cases. You've got the trading fees, you've got the lending fees, and you've got the fees we get from payments. So in essence, what we can do is we can then take the revenues and reinvest in further build out of our customer base and the entire ecosystem by reinvesting in people, in user acquisition, in technology to strengthen the ecosystem and make it one of the best ecosystems in crypto space and help us drive our vision of cryptocurrency in every wallet.
I do have to hand it to crypto.com and Chris for basically saying that their marketing and their retail section is extremely effective. It is extremely effective. I believe that crypto.com have the best marketing out of any cryptocurrency company in the entire ecosystem. Great for user adoption. And with the expansion of this, I believe that it has enabled them to create a really effective and really easy to use app. Minor complications, but once you get your head around it, it's actually really easy to use. It's a good user experience. As for the exchange, I get the part that we're talking about attracting bigger investors, hedge funds, etc. It does have some way to go in terms of the liquidity on the exchange and just, basically the amount of coins that can be traded on there. But on the whole, I'm pretty satisfied with those comments that he has made there. What's
coming soon? There's actually quite a lot. I mean, one of the things that you should be expecting is Supercharger coming to the app. Right now, it's only on the exchange. The initial response to the product was good. It provides solid API, so we will put it into the app and make it more easy to use and more easy to access for more of our users. We've got margin trading coming on the exchange. We've got a full exchange app that is coming soon. We've got a lending product coming out on the exchange itself, and a completely new derivatives exchange where we invested for over 12 months into building a completely new super cutting edge technology on which this will run. There is a credit product coming to the card, so you no longer have to pre-fund your crypto.com Visa card. You will be able to simply get an instant loan based on the value of the coins you have in your wallet. We've got the Canada launch coming up very soon. We've got some major news in the next few months on the licensing front. There's more and more fiat in and out options coming. There's an effort to turn our DeFi wallet into the place for you to experience all things DeFi. And of course, there's also the mainnet production dry run that is coming towards the end of the year. So there's a lot of things that are coming soon that have been in development for a while. So you can expect the same speed of improvements and the developments that we've been seeing recently, regardless of what the price does. I mean, we are executing against our roadmap. We've been executing through the bear market, and we will execute through the coming bull market with as relentlessly as ever.
All right, so there was just a little bit to cover there. The main real takeaways from that were the supercharger being made accessible on the app. So I think having the supercharger accessible on the app, so long as it is giving back some decent rewards, is going to be effective. However, if it's going to be too oversubscribed and people are not getting the rewards that they expect, it's kind of going to be ineffective in my opinion. So only time will tell really how many people are going to be using that and the kind of rewards that people will be getting. The second point that he covers there is margin trading being available on the exchange. Again, great concept, great idea. People do like to engage in margin trading. However, if there is continued poor liquidity on that exchange and they don't do something to try and fix that, they need to get more users, they need to get more coins onto their exchange. Otherwise, why is someone going to pick crypto.com to trade rather than Binance? All right, the trading fees are more or less pretty similar, and in terms of getting a reduction on trading fees, you can get a reduction if you use Crow, but you can also get a reduction if you use the BNB token, and it's a much more liquid and easy to use platform for people that are trading, and there are a lot more people that are trading on Binance. So you got to ask, why are people going to go and trade on the crypto.com exchange? There's got to be a good reason for that. The next point there, they're going to bring derivatives onto the exchange. Same point as the one I just made before. There's got to be liquidity. There's got to be people using that exchange. And an exchange app. Okay, I'm not sure why they haven't really got an exchange app yet. It is really, you know, in today's day and age, right, not having an app for the exchange or taking so long, it's just a little bit silly, I think. I understand these things do take a bit of time, they do take a bit of work, and they probably don't want to release a product or an app that isn't efficient, working well. I totally get that, but I feel like they should maybe go double time on that and try and get that out a little bit faster. And just on that last bit of news, the Canada launch is coming. So basically launching the services in Canada. Canada is absolutely massive. There's going to be an absolutely massive user base there, and I bet you when that does launch, that is going to pump the price of Crow up at least a few cents. So I'm really bullish on that last bit of basic news there as well. Chris also then goes on to talk about the instant loan. So basically you're going to be able to use your cryptocurrency as collateral soon on the app, which is definitely a service that they do need to be offering. It's not a new service, it is a service, or it's a DeFi service that is being offered on several platforms. However, the fact that they are going to start to offer it is pretty good, and it's going to give people like, well, people that are wanting to stake or lend out their cryptocurrency another opportunity to earn some interest from that. The amount of interest yet to be earned, who knows, but hopefully they are able to give us some good rates back on that. Following on from that, he really just goes on to talk about the fact that don't always stay so focused on the coin price of the Crow token. Yes, we've seen a dump of almost 50% over the last few days, and of course, if you're getting angry and you're getting out and you're selling it at a minus 50%, in my personal opinion, it's a mistake, because I do... Despite the fact that I disagree with how they handled this recent situation, it still doesn't change the fact that I don't think they're an exit scam company. I think they're going to be around for a while. I am bullish, like a lot of you out there. I know you are, and I am bullish on the company for the long term. And I can't unstake anyway until early next year, so it doesn't really matter a whole great deal what the price of the coin is now anyway, because it's not liquid to me anyway. And for those of you that have still had stakes when the news was brought about, you've still got the remainder of your stakes in place until those rates do change. So, and it's the same with any asset. It doesn't matter whether it's CRO token, doesn't matter whether it's Tesla, doesn't matter whether it's Bitcoin. Focus on what that particular asset or what that particular company attached to the asset is doing. All right, is crypto.com doing good things? Do they have a good plan in place? Do you believe that they'll be around in 5 years despite the price of the coin? Because remember, the price of the coin can be manipulated by whales, traders in the market, and many other factors alike, rather than just the news, or it's not always basically necessarily a reflection of how good the company is. Chris then goes on to close that statement by saying that they have performed well through the bear market, which is true. They haven't, the company hasn't flopped. They've moved through the Rona situation really, really well, and they will continue to, as we've seen Bitcoin is almost breaking 13,000 today, and I'm telling you the CRO token will follow. And there is just a lot of bullishness, a lot of governments failing their citizens around the world in certain countries. Just to name a few, we've got Hong Kong, Taiwan, Thailand, Nigeria. There are a lot of protests going on for various reasons in their countries, but essentially they're not happy with their governments. They want more of a democracy, more rights for the people, more of that government money for the people. And what are they doing? They're going to the banks, they're trying to cash out. The banks are blocking their accounts. So for the people that are able to get their money out in these countries, a lot of these people are now turning to Bitcoin. A lot of people in these poorer countries are getting their cash, they're realizing that it's worthless, and they are turning to cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin in particular. So what's happening on a global level, whilst we are heading into recession in a few different countries and people are suffering, people are losing their jobs, at the same time there are people, when they do get the money that is coming in, when they do get their government handouts or their incentives, they are starting to now change the way they view their economy. They're starting to change the way they are viewing their finance. Their financial education is improving. They're thinking about improving their finances, and they're investing their money in things like Bitcoin.
So next year, I've stated on Twitter recently that our target is to 3x the size of the platform next year to 15 million. This is where we see critical mass being in terms of like both app and exchange, and supported by a robust ecosystem. This is a true global presence with multiple licenses, with a fully localized product, and I think it's perfectly achievable given where we see our growth rates on month-to-month basis. So continue watching our journey. I think it's going to be the watershed moment for crypto.
Chris is simply saying here that he expects to do a 3x in 2021, taking their customer base from 5 million to potentially 15 million. Do I think this is a bit of an outlandish call? Not really. I think given the state of the global state of the economy and the simple fact that there is a massive, arguably the biggest BTC bull market, and we are just on the precipice of it. Crypto.com have already established themselves as the leaders in the crypto debit card space and one of the best on-ramps for general user adoption with the best marketing out there. I don't think it's unrealistic. I honestly do think that by the end of 2021, they could possibly take that number from 5 million to at least 15 million users worldwide. How many of those users are actually going to be investing in CRO and not just signing up for a free card or just using the app to buy some Bitcoin? Who knows? However, I think just for the overall bullishness of it, there obviously is going to be a high percentage that do end up staking for those higher tier cards, which is all a positive thing.
Now, following this fairly lengthy introduction, as I've been talking for almost 15 minutes now, I would like to address a list of questions. I know that there were a lot that our team collected. I think I've got about 20, 30 in here that were selected by our guys. I'll just go through it one by one to address some of the stuff that you mentioned in your questions. They're split. They're a little bit random, split into different categories. So bear with me. I'll just go through it one by one. First question is about burning CRO tokens. So the way to address this is, we obviously don't want to create any expectations here. We think that the mainnet launch is one of the pivotal moments for the company, and we are committed to making the CRO chain a fully decentralized network with very well developed governance and processes around it, and we will leave nothing off the table to achieve this objective of decentralization. And the teams are debating how to execute on this. We still have some time, but we look forward to the mainnet launch, because this is where a lot of these things will be answered. But we can't really commit to anything at this stage.
What Chris is basically saying is that there is no evidence to suggest that they will necessarily be doing a burn on the CRO token at any stage, so don't get your hopes up. However, there could be some association with when the mainnet is launched for the crypto.com chain. There could be some possibility through governance. It's the way I understood this. So when I say governance, I mean that when the crypto.com chain is fully implemented on mainnet from testnet, which is the stage that it is in now, if people, I guess people who obviously are holding more CRO are going to have more governance, the same with how it works on the Swipe network, there might be some opportunity for people to vote for the right to burn the Crow token and have that implemented into the longer term business strategy in some ways, which I guess would be returning to the prior business model of the coin of MCO, which they kind of did a poor little 180 turn away from that one. So yeah, on the whole, they're not saying a lot, but they're not really cutting it out completely. So let's just stay tuned for the mainnet launch. I think it is good that they are going to be branching away and creating their own blockchain. I'll make a separate video on this alone, but a few reasons as to why they might be doing this is simply because there's going to be a more later blockchain tech in place. There's better security, instant transactions and lower fees associated with that if it's a little bit more of an ease of use blockchain. And it's also going to be permissionless like a lot of other blockchains are as well. And of course, it's open source.
Canada is going live on track this quarter, so not much more time left.
Good to get some confirmation on that. Canada apparently will go live in the last quarter of 2020, which we did touch on before. So that's really bullish news for the whole crypto.com space.
Apple Pay and Google wallet integration, we're working on these. So in some jurisdictions already available, we're working on the rest. And there was a question regarding curve issues. So again, this comes down to our fraud prevention / risk management. Some users, I mean, I'm not saying that all of Curve users do it, but some of the users are trying to use Curve to, again, go around some of those restrictions that we put in place to manage the fraud levels. So I think after that situation, Curve team reached out to us, and our guys are working together to figure out how to solve this without throwing baby with the proverbial water. I think a lot of users have valid use cases for this, including improved card acceptance and the fact that you can use it with Apple Pay and Google Wallet today, where it's not available natively yet.
What I will also quickly mention is if you do want to work around for that Google Pay or that Apple Pay, just get the Curve app, get a Curve card, and you can basically attach your crypto card through the Curve application, and then that's a little bit of a workaround. So you can then attach that card through Apple Pay or through Google Pay through the third-party Curve service there as well. Now, I have my own theories based around this that I have discussed with Karina and a few others as well. I personally think they have delayed the Apple and Google Pay service on the phone because basically think about it. If you're going to the shop and you're using your iPhone to quickly tap on the screen with the click of a button, right? And you're just basically, who's going to see that card? But whereas if you're going, you actually have to go to the effort to pull your wallet out of your pocket, undo the zip, or just whatever you need to do. If you got purse, okay, you got to physically pull that card out of the wallet. Think about that. People are going to see that, and people are going to ask questions. It's happened to me before. The amount of times I've gone, even when I haven't been making a YouTube video, I've gone to a place, I pulled out my card, I paid for it, the person or the merchant has asked me questions about the card, it's created a conversation, and it has created some traction there. I could be completely wrong about that. Do let me know what you think about that. But I mean, otherwise, why would they be taking so long to implement such a critical piece of technology that Swipe are already offering and some other card services are offering as well?
Card shipping delays. I think we underestimated the demand specifically in Europe for the product. Even we were, very optimistic, and there are several issues that affect our ability to deliver faster. Number one is that the metal card production times are now at 4 or 5 months. So whatever we ordered before Europe launch has been already sold out. And the reorder has been sold out, and now we're just chasing our vendors for faster delivery. The second thing is that, basically every single thing that is physical these days is affected. So, even our parcel bureau in Europe, we couldn't fulfill the orders on time because we didn't have enough people to, with this COVID situation, to actually, parcel and pack the cards. So we're resolving these one by one, and I think, with the hopefully when the pandemic is over, this is going to be improved. But the other things that we're going to do to address this is after the migration to our new issuing partners in Europe, we will work on enabling virtual cards, and then you can use your virtual card first, and until you receive the actual metal card. So I think that will be resolved at some point in Q1.
Look, I think with all the hectic news with Wirecard earlier in the year, it was a little bit of a standstill when it came to this issue in crypto.com and the distribution of the cards. So I am going to cut them a little bit of slack with this one on the processing times of the cards. And to be completely honest with you, yes, it's really annoying to have to wait so long for these cards, but think about it, it's probably a good problem to have considering the fact that everyone is waiting on cards. It means that basically people want the card.
Status of welcome packs. We're actually shipping them already. I don't know if you have seen on there's a number of users receiving them and posting some videos on Twitter and Reddit. So we are shipping it out. This is kind of done on our front. It's just a question of all the logistics networks around the world are deeply affected by the COVID pandemic. So you might receive it late, but on our end, it's kind of done. I already got mine like last week, so I'm wearing it right now.
If Chris Marszalek himself was not able to get his welcome pack until just last week, then what hope do we have of ever getting our welcome packs? I'm not sure.
It's 15 million users. It's continued execution against our roadmap and working really hard to be the company that grows most during the coming bull run. The other question is about adding more coin support. We've been adding roughly 2 coins a month in terms of new blockchain integrations, and we will continue at this speed, perhaps slightly faster. There are people asking about some coins like BSV and stuff. I mean, we try our very best to only list coins that we are going to be proud of listing 12 months from now.
It is great that they are considering their customers on the app, and they feel as though they don't want to list coins that are potentially going to be scam coins or coins that are essentially going to flop within 12 months. But come on, this is crypto. How are you possibly going to predict other companies and other coins and the ones that are going to be successful? I think it's a little bit foolish to assume that you're going to be able to pick the right coins to put onto your platform. I mean, I'm not sure what other approach there is, but yeah, to make that assumption is probably a little bit foolish at this stage.
Super bullish on the lending business, and we've got 3 lending products that are coming to market soon. We want to build this out again, being competitive, but at the same time generating enough yield so that we can again redistribute it to our customers through the interest accruing products. So there's a balance here, but I'm super bullish about this, and it's a big theme on our roadmap. And we think that the lending game is going to be one of the biggest revenue drivers for the company next year.
He goes on to talk on a little bit more about how he feels that he's very bullish about the lending services and using collateral to borrow. And I agree with him. I think it's something, as we did mention before, that is going to be very bullish for not just crypto.com, but the crypto space in the whole.
How do you think of the future of DeFi and how Sierra could make a difference for the DeFi projects and in this space in general? So my view of DeFi is that this is where all of the innovation is going to happen for the foreseeable future. So we launched a very basic product, and we'll keep on building and learning and improving the products. If you look at the overall size of that market segment, it's probably around 100,000 users globally. So if you think about it, about crypto as a small niche for now with 60-70 million users, DeFi is the niche of the niche. I think CeFi has still a gigantic role to play in terms of adoption.
Whilst I am still learning a lot about DeFi myself, I'm getting involved with it in just small scales just to see what kinds of returns I can get. But in my head, it does make sense to me, the basics that I do know of DeFi, and I can openly say that I do think that some of the top DeFi companies are going to be around in 2021. So it serves a bullish case for crypto.com getting involved in DeFi on the whole, which is great.
There's some speculation here that since DeFi products have been implemented, Sierra has been exploited by whales and tanked the price. Do you have any data or confirmation that this is true? I mean, we don't really comment on the price. I mean, whatever the market does, it goes up, it goes up, it goes down, it goes down. We think that a long period of time, the market will be able to figure out where fair market value is.
Fair enough if he doesn't want to comment on the price. I get that, all right, because the price isn't directly associated necessarily with how the business is performing. And look, let's be honest, I can't say for sure, none of us can, but of course there's going to be some whale manipulation with the Crow token, but it's not just the Crow token that can be manipulated. It's Bitcoin, it's Ethereum, it's any altcoin has the potential to be manipulated, all right? So I think that people trying to take a bit of a dig at crypto.com and the manipulation with their Crow token, yes, maybe it is being manipulated more than some other coins, but all coins have the potential to be manipulated, and it's just not somewhere where I think people need to be spending their time and energy. Focus on the business.
We have the DeFi wallet, and the functionality of DeFi wallet is going to improve. And this is an area of effort. I mean, DeFi space, generally speaking, is super complex, and user experience done properly, we should be able to boil this all down to be able to clearly present the value for the users and drive this number from 100,000 slightly up.
Interesting point there, the use of the DeFi wallet on the DeFi wallet app. I have personally not actually experienced this myself. If any of you out there have, then please leave some comments below and let me know what kind of experience you've had and whether it served you well.
I'd like to summarize this AMA very quickly for you guys, if you will. Number one, we grew very quickly this year, and such growth, of course, comes with certain level of maybe not errors, but at some point in time, you just need to consolidate a little bit and look at the rebalancing, the growth speed, with the stability of the platform, with the incentives to make sure that you're building a robust business moving forward. And the way I look at it is we want controlled growth, right? So I think that 3xing the business next year is still very fast, but it's a more controlled environment. So that's how we think about growth moving forward, trying to rebalance it and make sure it's controlled with healthy metrics. Number two, we are probably the best positioned company to benefit from the upcoming Bitcoin-induced bull run. So we're very, very bullish on the business. We've got the team is as strong as ever. We are executing against a very ambitious but achievable roadmap, and we'll continue to do so relentlessly. And the third point is that as we go through this growth, where we're going from a startup into a large-scale platform, we will continue communicating very transparently and openly with the community and seek your feedback, and we'll avoid making any rapid changes. So I think those are the major points. There's plenty of our plate. You'll see a lot of releases before the year ends, and even more in Q1. So stay along for the journey. Don't try to equal the price of the token with what the business does, because sometimes it gets ahead of itself, sometimes it's not. We just don't want to comment on these things because this is not what we do. We don't comment on prices. We build products, we release products, we try to do a better job for the customers. And again, we'll probably do one of these AMAs again pretty soon after some of our major planned releases.
Guys, for those of you that stayed on and watched the whole video, you just left it running on in the background because you just wanted to know a little bit more about crypto.com, or you just didn't get sick of hearing my voice going on about crypto.com, I really do appreciate you. If you did like the video, subscribe to the channel if you did find value on the channel. And do let me know, do you think this AMA was good enough for you? Do you think it was good enough for you to potentially consider a starting investment in crypto.com at these low prices of around 10 cents, which is potentially, in my eyes, a really good opportunity to buy in, given the fact that, well, I do think there is a good future ahead for crypto.com. It's really annoying, the recent moves that they did make with the price reduction, not because they had to reduce the price, but just how they handled the situation. Could have been handled a lot better. Very, very annoying. However, on the whole, I don't think they meant it to get such negative attraction, all right? So I do think that they mean well long-term, and I do think they do want to stick around, and I am still most definitely bullish on the long-term of crypto.com, and I will be hodling my crow. Again, I'm not sure if I am going to be upgrading to the Icy White yet, or will I be going for a steel card. The Slate card offers more benefits to me than the Obsidian Black, and there's no way I'd ever be able to invest that amount of money or that amount of crow for the Obsidian Black, at least not in the next few years. So yeah, let me know what you think about this video, and if you want to see more videos like this, and any questions at all, I always welcome them with open arms. If you are on Telegram, then make sure you join my free Telegram chat group and chat with me directly. The link for that Telegram group will be in the description of this video, and please do give me a follow on my Twitter and Instagram handle at SatoshiIoki7. That's it for now, folks. Hope you enjoy the video, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers, guys.